tech hub to championing entrepreneurship and skilling, he has shown that politics can actually be about solutions and opportunities, not just about speeches. And today he is here to decode what Gen Z truly wants and how leaders can respond to those ambitions. So please welcome KT Rama Rao. Music, please.
Thank you. I've never had music ever played it when I was introduced, but thank you very much for that. Thank you, guys. Good evening. My name is KT Rama Rao. I am a politician. I know most of you loathe politicians, most of you hate politicians. So I'll try and keep this simple, try and keep this as brief as possible. I come from Telangana. I worked as a minister for about 10 years. From 2014 until 2023. Prior to joining politics, I've had a bit of exposure working in the Western world. I have 2 master's degrees, one in biotechnology from Pune University, and one more in business administration from City University of New York. Then I worked in the corporate world for about 6.5, 7 years, came back to India, worked here for 2 more years, and then eventually joined the statehood agitation for Telangana in 2006. For about 8 years, I was part of this public movement for statehood for Telangana. In 2014, after the state of Telangana was formed, we were given a chance to serve the people, and I became a minister for the first time in 2014. For about 10 years, I've handled multiple portfolios, including technology, commerce, industry, urban development, municipal administration, handlooms, etc., etc. So why am I here? I'm here to share some of my thoughts, some of my learnings, and also to hear from you on what you want from politics and politicians and probably governments as well. I wanted to start off by saying 2 things. One, when I look around, when I see you, I see a lot of restless people, trigger happy, quick to go on to the digital world, wanting to put out a statement, wanting to put out a post a story, set a reel, restless, young, ambitious, bold. That's Gen Z, if we have to quickly sum up. You're truly the DIY generation, not the do-it-yourself, but disruptive, imaginative, absolutely youthful generation is what Gen Z is all about. I would like to believe that my state, Telangana, is also a Gen Z state. Wanted to start off by saying 3 things. One, when we start looking at events like this, thank you NDTV for this wonderful gathering, because this is a unique opportunity for lawmakers, for politicians to interact, to mingle, to understand what Gen Z really wants. When I look through this room, I can think of 3 Gen Z journeys. One, of course, my children. I have a 20-year-old and a 16-year-old. So obviously, both Gen Z and both of them, of course, grill me more than probably what Padmaja would, more than what any journalist could on several issues of social relevance. 2, of course, I meet a lot of youngsters as part of my job. I interact with a number of youngsters. I talk to a lot of youngsters. I keep getting fresh bout of energy every so often when I speak to them. 3, my state, which has done tremendously well in the last 10 years. Gen Z has truly conquered, has truly led the charge on the digital mediums. You guys have literally taken the world by storm, across the world. I'm not even talking India, I'm not talking my state. One of the things that I can think of from my state, where Gen Z had a positive impact by way of social media activism, was as recent as about 3 months ago. In my state, in my city, Hyderabad, when the government of Telangana wanted to sell about 400 acres of forest land, Gen Z, in the form of Hyderabad Central University students, led the charge and started demanding answers from the government on why they're selling a valuable piece of urban lung space, which is also a demarcated forest. Went on for a while. Eventually, even though the government was non-responsive, this apex court of India, the Supreme Court, responded. Supreme Court came to the rescue, and eventually, because of Gen Z's media activism, social media activism, 400 acres of land in Hyderabad was saved purely because of that activism. Now, does that mean mere social media activism? Does that mean mere social media presence is enough? No. I think Gen Z also has to step in, understand that this is your moment. This is your moment to seize. Why am I saying that? Because as the world is getting older, India is getting younger. India's median age today is 27. More than 50% of India is less than the age of 35. This is your time, this is your opportunity under the sun. This is the opportunity that you can seize. In case you're thinking this lecture is getting really boring, let me give you 3 examples of how generations in the past, youngsters in the past, have redefined their country's destinations. In 1985, China and India. You all know China, you all use Chinese products, I'm sure. China and India both had a similar sized economy in 1985. But today, if you look back, exactly 40 years later, India's economy is around $4 trillion, whereas China is almost $20 trillion. They're 5 times bigger than us. In mid-1980s, we were similar in terms of GDP size. In terms of per capita, in fact, China was lower. They were $300, we were $500. And today, China is about $13,000 of per capita. India is only $2,700. What happened? Where did we miss the bus? How did they race past us? I think one simple thing. They were focused on the best. They wanted to beat the best. They were focused on the US. They were wanting to be better than Europe. Whereas India, we were happy comparing ourselves to Pakistan. We were very busy comparing ourselves to Bangladesh. And we were thankful that, we were growing. That's all. We didn't care that others were growing faster, others were doing better. The second example I'd like to give you is that of Japan. I'm sure all of you have Japanese products at your home, possibly one of the cars, one of the electronic goods you use, etc., etc. Now, Japan, for those of you who are probably familiar, you're Gen Z, so you're born post-97. 50 years prior to that, in 1945, Japan actually is the only country on planet Earth which had experienced a nuclear attack. 2 Japanese cities were bombed, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Lakhs of people died in World War II in Japan. But what did Japan do? Did it lose its hope? Did it give up? Did it throw in the towel? Japan has so many odds stacked up against it. In terms of size, Japan is only 1/9 of India. In terms of inhabitable space in the country, inhabitable as in human inhabitable, only 30% of Japan is inhabitable by humans. 70% of the terrain is inhospitable. And also, only 11% of Japan is actually good. Japanese land is good for cultivation. Almost 89% is not good. And also, Japan is frequently rocked by earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis. So there are natural disasters and then man-made disasters like atom bomb. But Japan didn't give up. After 1945, it only took Japan 23 years to rebuild from a disaster, from devastation, to absolute economic miracle. And by 1968, in less than 23 years, just by sheer innovation, industrialization, just by culture and mindset, Japan has become the 3rd largest economy in a span of 23 years. And in about another 20 years, Japan has become 2nd largest economy. And even as we speak today, it is the 4th or 5th largest economy in the world. And the 3rd example that I would like to give is that of my state, Telangana. I know all of you are trigger happy, all of you have butterfingers when it comes to cell phones. May I request all of you to pull out your phones for a second? Please. Please open Google. please type in the world's largest lift irrigation project. World's largest lift irrigation project. And I think you would find the answer. That is, can anybody tell me, please? Anyone? Kaleshwaram project in our own country, in my state, Telangana. It's not India's largest, it's the world's largest project. May I also request you, bade bhai 2 minute ruk ja yaar, 2 minute. May I also request you, world's largest Amazon campus. You know, you all use Amazon. World's largest Amazon campus. Where is it? Which city? Can you please say it loud? We are in Bombay. Hyderabad. Thank you very much. And the third question I'd ask you, world's largest innovation campus. World's largest innovation campus. Anybody? T-Hub, Hyderabad. So I just named 3 things which are world's largest. World's largest lift irrigation project is in Telangana, India. World's largest Amazon campus is also in Hyderabad, Telangana, India. And world's largest innovation campus is also T-Hub, Hyderabad, Telangana, India. If Telangana can do all these in the last 10 years, why can't the rest of India do it? If China can beat India and become 5 times larger in about 40 years, why can't we do the same? And if Japan can recover from a devastation of a nuclear bomb and become the 3rd largest and 2nd largest economy in the world, why can't we do it? That's the question I'm asking you. How long are we going to be content being the CEOs of the world? We take great deal of pride in Sundar Pichai, in Satya Nadella, Arvind, Shantanu Narayan, and many others who have done very well across the US. But name one Indian product which has truly been benchmarked by the rest of the world as the best in the business. Not one coming from India. If the co-founder of Perplexity, Arvind, can be an Indian guy in the US, why can't one of you in Gen Z from India, 37.7 crore Gen Z Indians, why can't you come out with something truly path-breaking? I'll leave you with 3 parting thoughts. I know Padmaja is looking at me because we have also some chat out there. 3 parting thoughts. What India needs today from Gen Z and what India needs from governments across the country is 3 things. And also from the industry is 3 things. India does not have the luxury of leapfrogging. हम बार-बार सुनते रहते हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी से कि 2047 तक इंडिया को फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड कंट्री बनाना है. India does not have the luxury, अगर बना है 22 साल में, we don't have the luxury of leapfrogging. We have to pole vault. We cannot leapfrog. The second thing I'll tell you, India does not have the luxury of inviting venture capital. We need our industry to open its purse strings. We need our industry to be adventurous. What India needs is not venture capital, but adventure capital. Also from Gen Z, what we need, what India needs to truly become first world country is not for you to come out with the next Amazon, not for you to come out, become the next Uber. I think best practices are dime a dozen. What we need from young Indians, what we need from Gen Z is next practices. We need you to redefine the world order. We need you, along with the governments and the industry, to work on next generation practices, next breakthroughs for the rest of the world. Because like I said, while the world is getting older, India is getting younger. And today, the opportunity that Gen Z has in India, there's never been a better time. Because governments are attentive, industry is attentive, capital is not a concern. You're only limited by your imagination, you're only limited by your ambition. And I'm sure with more and more such events, many of you will become innovators, many of you will become disruptors, many of you will truly come out with world-class products. I was just listening to Pawan, who's also from Telangana, by the way. Thank you for that that's enlightening inputs. Once again, thank you NDTV, Yuva, for giving us this opportunity. Truly delighted to be here. Cheers. Thank you.
You had restrained them for so long, it's almost...
I know. Thank you, boys. Appreciate it.
No, so now in this session, we are going to do a few Q&As. If you like the answer given, please feel free. Go for it, Mr. Drummer.
I've never had this, so I'm a bit confused.
Okay, so since you said that there is a lot of scope yet for a Gen Z ecosystem, and you've done a lot of, three options statements, let me start by asking you, if you were to choose a state which has truly developed a good Gen Z ecosystem, would it be Maharashtra, Telangana, or Gujarat?
You know my answer.
Okay, let's leave out Telangana because you'll be
my
biased.
My fiduciary responsibility, of course.
Karnataka, Maharashtra, Gujarat.
I'd say each of them have their strengths, but I'd say for Gen Z, I think Bangalore continues to remain the favorite. Without a question, I think it beats Maharashtra and Gujarat. I think most of you are Mumbaikars. You'll hate me for saying this, but Bangalore wins hands down, even though I'm sitting in Mumbai and talking to you.
What are we saying about this Mumbai? Best Gen Z ecosystem is in Bangalore and not in Mumbai?
No, up your quotient, you can certainly compete with not Bangalore, but in fact, Mumbai has the ability to beat Silicon Valley. Why not?
Okay. What does Mr. Drummer think about it?
I think he's a Bangalore guy. Thank you.
Okay. Who's a good Gen Z neta, according to you? Is it Mr. Modi? Is it Rahul Gandhi? Is it, and I'm not going to mention anyone from your party or you, is it Revant Reddy?
Well, I'd say सबके सब बूढ़े हैं, तो तीनों भी Gen Z नहीं है. सारे के सारे बूढ़े हैं. Gen Z is beyond 97. Yeah.
ఇండియా మ్యాచ్ లో లాస్ట్ ఓవర్ అవుతుంది, అది ఒక్కసారి చూసేస్తే
ఈ స్మార్ట్ టీవీ చాలా స్లో రా, అది ఆన్ అయ్యి ఓపెన్ అయ్యేసరికి
ఫ్యాటిలిస్టిక్ ఉంది.
Say, put it that way. Then I think I'd say right now I only have 3 choices.
Yes, only 3 choices.
Only 3?
Only 3.
Caught between devil and deep sea. I don't know who to choose. So I'll probably play it safe and say Narendra Modi.
Okay, if you had to give a 4th option of your own, who would you say?
I think in our country,
yes,
in India,
our country, yes.
I'd say that appeals to Gen Z.
Who you think has got the pulse of Gen Z right?
My friend Conrad Sangma, the Meghalaya Chief Minister, he plays very good guitar. I think he appeals to Gen Z more than any other politician because he's a very, very cool politician. I think
you want to take a shot at it? I mean, if you want to be cool and acceptable.
Unfortunately, I can't. I'm very bad.
Okay, tell me this. Why is it that politics, even now, despite the fact that, you've got young people like yourself, people who've been educated abroad, people who are bringing a lot of, a very corporate background into politics, still has a very old boys club sort of image. Why is that?
I mean, I think the question goes back to what you were saying a few minutes ago, the choices we have today. Unfortunately, a few, but it can be changed because especially after the advent of social media, we see unfiltered, unedited, direct, unadulterated feedback coming to us. Because otherwise, politics is not only an old boys club, politics is also a club of psychophancy and psychophants, unfortunately. So with social media's advent, I think the kind of feedback we've all been getting, the kind of direct, unfiltered feedback we've been getting, is truly going to change India's politics in the next 10 years. That's something I truly believe. So let us talk probably another 5 years and 10 years from now and you'll realize that politics will have a lot of these youngsters also joining in, either directly or indirectly. I don't mean not everybody will become an MP or MLA, but at least they'll start participating in the process. They'll start taking more active interest because end of the day, politics decides your future. I mean, आपके मोहल्ले में रोड बनना है कि नहीं, आपके यहाँ जो एक मोहल्ला क्लिनिक बनाना है उसका मतलब किस कदर बनाना होगा, कैसे बनाना होगा. All these things ultimately, I think, have to be determined by us participating. Today, I don't see urban voters and Gen Z really participating in voting, but I'm hopeful that once they start participating actively, things will change. It won't remain an old boys club. We'll have a lot of infusion of youngsters as well.
This immediate feedback, social media feedback, can also be a double-edged sword. It can be enlightening, but it can be rather nasty. Has there been something which you thought was just like, okay, great feedback, but was really raw, honest, and perhaps a little cruel?
Yeah, when I give a terrible speech, I'm told directly कि आज का speech बहुत घटिया था, बहुत सीधा बोल देते हैं. So that's all right. That's perfectly fine because see, it's better to be told directly onto your face कि कुछ गड़बड़ है, rather than just living in your own fool's paradise thinking everything you do is absolutely brilliant. So I would any day want unfiltered, fresh, raw feedback and get unadulterated content directly from the my voters, my.
What did you say so wrong in that speech कि बिल्कुल घटिया ही बोल दिया किसी ने आकर के?
नहीं पता नहीं यार किसी को पसंद नहीं आया होगा होता है ना. I mean not everything. See, I just said Bangalore is a better ecosystem. I'm sure Mumbai guys wouldn't like it. So when somebody sees that and especially media is very notorious for playing only those clips that they like. I'm not saying you NDTV, but I'm just saying So
no, wait till you go and check your Twitter feed. There'll be some people there saying, "Kya ghatiya baat thi ye."
शायद कुछ होगा.
Mumbai is way better than this.
शायद even my kids actually don't spare me. So when I say something which isn't very interesting or which is a bit cliche, they're on my case. So.
What is the most honest thing you said your children grill you the most? What's been the most cruel thing that your children have said to you?
Cruel?
Cruel. Because children can be cruel. And they're unfiltered because they're your children, so.
Absolutely, Well, last night I was asking my daughter, she's 16. So I was asking my daughter, what do Gen Z kids want to, want a politician to say? She simply said, she was being kind to me personally, but she said, I don't think Gen Z really likes politicians, is what she said. Like, obviously, as you can see. So therefore, it's okay, I understand. But what they need to understand also is that everything that they do right now, or everything that they do from the time they get up till the time they go to bed, including GSTs and everything that affects their life, day-to-day life, are the decisions taken by politicians. So they better start getting involved. They better start paying attention.
You spoke about the journey of your party. Obviously, it was born of a revolution.
Yes.
And at the forefront was your party, the TRS at that time. But the lifeblood was the youth of Telangana, the youngest people then. What happened? How is it that you stormed into power 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and then equally unceremoniously, if I may use the word,
not really.
You were ousted from power?
No, not
why?
really. I'll tell you why.
Did the youth reject you?
No.
Did you not
10 years.
figure out what the youth Gen Z of Telangana wanted?
I'll tell you what. 10 years we were in government, we've been given an opportunity to serve. We did really well. And when we lost in 2023, it was not unceremonious. The difference between the victor and who came runner-up, which is us, was hardly 1.8%, which is about 4 lakh votes. There's nothing unceremonious about a loss in politics. Ultimately, end of the day, you have to take it in your stride. You have to reflect. You have to introspect. You have to come out with, what probably course corrective steps that you have to do. So one of the reasons could be that the youngsters in Telangana probably did not get what they want, possibly in the sense of the number of jobs we created in private sector versus the number of jobs that got created in government sector. We did not publicize well. And on the other hand, you had my opponent, Congress, which literally promised the moon. They promised 10 grams of gold in every marriage to a young lady's family. They promised scooties to young women who would go to college. They promised the moon, literally. I mean, it would probably take the budget of 4 states, 4 southern states, to deliver on all the promises that they made, but people bought into it. That's why the difference was 1.8%, and we lost by a whisker. And I don't see it as a unceremonious loss whatsoever.
Okay, but this was good communication.
I think perception management, politics is about 3 kinds of management: people management, perception management, and also alignment of expectations, expectation management. So I think we failed possibly on one of the 3.
So which politician, according to you, does the best in perception management? Revanth Reddy, I'll give you options, or you want to go straight off the bat?
I think I'll go with Barack Obama. Play it safe and go with Barack Obama.
No, it has to be based in India.
Because you're reeling me back into Indian politics, and you're pitting one of my opponents against the other. So I really don't.
No, but the people here, they want to hear from you about Indian politics because this is what they engage with.
ठीक.
So.
बताइए, choice बताइए.
अच्छा, choice. Perception management, Arvind Kejriwal, Revanth Reddy. Can I give more than 3 choices?
5 ले लीजिए.
Narendra Modi, Rahul Gandhi, and I think I'll go with 4.
See, I'll tell you what. India में मैं 40 साल से मैं politics follow कर रहा हूँ और देख रहा हूँ closely. Indian politics is about, Indian elections are about 90% of the time about rejection. अगर आप पसंद नहीं तो किसी और के पास जाएंगे. Ultimately किसी को हटाना है तब जाके दूसरी तरफ देखेंगे. सिर्फ 10% of the time people look for a new hope, new wave. That which happened in the case of TRS, which happened in the case of AAP, which happened in the case of BJP, etc., etc. Otherwise, it's a status quoist kind of a politics. So, in terms of perception management, if you ask me, in the last 11 years, I'll confine myself to the last 11, 12 years, I'll say that Prime Minister Modi has done exceptionally well, even though, if you ask me in terms of what he has delivered to the nation, not much, but in terms of perception management, in terms of how, he gave this impression that he's done enough and more, because let me remind you, he promised that India will become a 5 trillion economy by 2022. Did not happen. He promised a home to every poor in India. Did not happen. He promised a null to every home. Did not happen. He promised 2 crore jobs to every year in the last 11 years. Did not happen. But he still continues to win. That means he's doing something right, which I believe is perception management and probably a little bit of media management as well.
Really? 11 years purely on perception management?
I would say so. And primordial emotion management, if I may also add.
Emotional management?
Primordial emotion management.
Primordial emotion. Would you care to elaborate on that?
Well, simple. Ultimately क्या होता है ना, जब मैं चाइना की बात करता हूँ, जापान की बात करता हूँ, अगर कहता हूँ कि अगर चाइना ने 40 साल में हमसे 5 गुना जो ग्रोथ दिखाया, इंडिया में क्यों नहीं होता है? सिंपल सीधी बात है. चाइना तो फोकस्ड है यूएस पे, उसको चाहिए कि दुनिया में बेस्ट बनना है, बट हम किस चीज़ पे फोकस्ड है? मंदिर मस्जिद वाली झगड़ा में कौन क्या खा रहा है, क्या पी रहा है, कैसे कपड़े पहन रहा है, कैसे भाषा बोल रहा है, etc., etc. So what happens is, when you bring these primordial emotions to the fore, and that takes center stage over everything else, none of the promises that you made have worked, none of the promises that you made have been delivered, but still you win elections because election के time आपको याद दिलाया जाता है 80, 20, etc., etc., and that
पर उन्होंने अगर 11 साल तक ये मैनेज किया है, this could be your हम करके दिखाएंगे moment.
See, ultimately, I'll tell you what. End of the day, you can fool all the people sometimes. Some people all the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. So there will come a time when people will see through all these perception managements and media managements and will pick the right choices.
Now you're out of power. I want to ask you a final question. When did you have your, that moment of reckoning where you said, ये हम करके दिखाएंगे moment, you might be out of power, but you will be able to bounce back?
Well, 2 things. One, today if you look at Telangana politics, I already see the triple R playing. Not triple R the movie, but triple R, factor. Recall, regret and revolt. Recall is already happening. People are already recalling how better our government was vis-a-vis the current Congress government. Regret is also being seen that गलती हो गई, फिर इनको वापस लाना है. मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ 1-2 साल में रिवोल्ट भी शुरू हो जाएगा और 5वीं साल में हम लोग वापस आ जाएंगे. Revolt as in not.
I hope you are not telling people to hit the streets कि Gen Z रास्ते पे आओ.
Not like Gen Z and Nepal. No, I'm not talking about that. That might also happen if governments actually fail. I'm also forewarning you on that. Because what happened in Nepal recently was nothing but suppression of democracy, was suppression of the voice of Gen Z. Initially, even the media mocked when the Gen Z was protesting. They said they're protesting internet disruptions. But eventually, what were they protesting? They were protesting for their future.
You're saying a Nepal-like scenario can happen in India?
If governments continue to fail them, if governments continue to fail the aspirations of people of India, why not? Yes.
Do the people here agree that we could have something like this happening in India?
Well, you never know.
Come on, Gen Z, let's be heard. कितने लोगों को लगता है यहाँ पे होगा Gen Z? नेपाल जैसा? How many people think नहीं होगा?
Well, let's see. The night is still young, let's see.
Okay, let's hope for the best. The night is young, but KT Rama Rao, thank you very much for having come here.
Thank you very much.
Spoken to us here at NDTV Yuva.
Cheers, thank you. We're playing it safe.
Do you want to take a last shot at the guitar? You still have a shot at being young.
I really have.